Hello. So I'm waiting for a bus, like I said in my intro video. And I want to do a video on Robin Hood, which is a Disney animated film from 1973. This was requested by Forkerball, aka Ian, who is one of my compadres on the collab channel, The Movie Reviewers 100. Thanks for the request, Ian. I enjoyed this film very, very much. It was lots of fun. Robin Hood, of course, is the tale of the bandit of Sherwood Forest, or the liberator of Sherwood Forest, something like that. An English guy who uses bow and arrow and his sword to liberate coins, taxes collected by Prince John, who is ruling England in absentia of his father, the King George, or is it King Richard, I think? Is the character Sean Connery had a cameo in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Anyway, this movie was directed by Wolfgang Reitherman, who directed a bunch of other animated movies, including 101 Dalmatians, The Sword and the Stone, The Jungle Book, The Aristocats, and The Rescuers. The Rescuers came out in 1977, and wouldn't you know it, was actually the very first movie I ever went to the theater to see, the Disney animated version of The Rescuers. Yeah, who's in this movie? Not a lot of people that I've heard of. I'm not really familiar with many of the names. The one that I recognize is Peter Ustinov, but I looked him up on IMDb, and I guess I haven't seen a whole lot of stuff that he's done that I can recall anyway. Robin Hood is played by Brian Bedford, who I know from the Oliver Stone film Nixon. He played Clyde, who was the partner of J. Edgar Hoover, played by Bob Hoskins in Nixon. Marion, Maid Marian, is played by Monica Evans. These are voices, of course, by the way, because it's an animated movie. Robin Hood and Marion are foxes. Little John's a bear. Friar Tuck, the Sheriff of Nottingham. Prince John, these are all, like, you know, animals, obviously. Actually, I recognize the voice behind the Sheriff of Nottingham. He is Pat Buttram, and I recognize him from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. He did the voice of a bullet, a cowboy-styled bullet who spoke in a Texas accent, and had just a small role in that movie, but I remember him from that. Phil Harris is the guy who did Little John, and I recognize his voice very, very much because he did a part in The Jungle Book. Little John is a bear, of course, a big bad bear, and but he's a gentle soul. And Phil Harris also played a bear in The Jungle Book, in which he sang a song that kind of went, "Bare necessities, the bare necessities." He's got a voice that I could recognize. Friar Tuck is played by Andy Devine. I'm not really familiar with him all that much. As Peter Ustinov. I mean, he's a more recognizable name, but I don't really know what he's done. Anyway, of course, the film Robin Hood deals with the Terror of Sherwood Forest, as they say, the guy who is stealing all the tax collections away from King, or Prince John in this case. King Richard is away somewhere, attending to some war that's very important. And so Prince John is basically taking over the throne, and is basically extorting all the citizens of England and his various towns and villages for all the taxes they can lay his hands on, and are reducing everyone to poverty. So Robin Hood, of course, is doing what he can to steal back the money and give it back to the people, so that they have some, money to buy food with and everything like that. And it's a delightful movie. There's no violence in it or anything like that. No one's being tortured. The worst thing that happens is you end up in prison. You have chains around your ankles, but it's not such a bad thing after all. It's, of course, a musical, the way a lot of Disney animated films are, but I don't remember a lot of the songs. But it's a fun little movie. There's some nice set pieces in it, and it's a delightful little experience. So thank you very much, Ian, for recommending this to me. Sorry I don't have more to say on it. It is, it is pretty innocuous. It is a pretty gentle film, all in all, but fun. Good for the whole family. So thank you very much for watching. If you have, I appreciate it. And please leave me a comment, request a 1973 movie. I am watching 1973 movies all year long because it's been 40 years since that year, which happens to be the year I was born. So that's why I'm doing this. Thanks very much. Bye.